Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Thursday night. Hope everyone is doing the best they can. I didn't receive any questions, and no doubt it's because we have been away for 2 weeks at a cottage. But there are a couple of things that struck me about the last series of questions that were sent in. And I think might be very important to try to talk a little bit about it. There were a number of questions that related basically in one way or another to an inclination that has occurred for, so very long. And one of the inclinations is we're talking about the species as a being, as almost like an individual. Really, really hard to make sense of. All our ways of engaging with life, emotions, the way we think, different races, different religious backgrounds, philosophical backgrounds, different ways of even breathing in the air. But out of all of this, for an awfully long time, there's been an inclination of humanity to try and reach farther than their personality will actually allow them to do so. And so there's a lot of questions around the way a species functions and how it protects itself. So I'd like to draw an analogy, just a little at a time, to all of us who are here and listening, maybe a few, and at the same time looking at how you see yourself and how you see others, and then turning the TV on and seeing how the world engages, and part of the species, of course, and looking at every country and how we engage with territory and importance and value and all the rest of it. It just keeps going on and on and on and on. That's our species. It's what we do. And if you take a little look at history, you'll see that we've been doing it that way for a long time. Even into our very ancient past. Very similar tendencies. The importance of being valuable in the eyes of others. The way we make sense of what that has to look like and why it has to look that way. And the need to be strikingly engaging in some way so that we are individually valued somehow. Nothing wrong with that, generally speaking. But you take a look at this in a very large, step-out way. And the farther we step out without considering the whole of the species, the smaller we get in relationship to how important the value that we set on ourselves is, except for one thing. We clump together. And this is a difficulty. This is very hard for us to understand. Religions and certain political backgrounds have always thought that this was how it's functioned. You get a group of people who believe only in one way, and this is the only way that it should be. Philosophical backgrounds, almost anything. Viewing the arts, for example, scientific perspective over the years seems to be making some progress, but at the same time, the utilization of that particular progressive engagement that we might have as a species is used to fulfill various types of things that nations believe will, as individuals believe, be important or show them as important. This is just normal stuff. So this is the nature of our species. Then you begin to talk broadly about attempting to become involved with an inner zone of energy, which I often call love. And that love itself is there in us to be used for a purpose of engaging with loving. We have no trouble doing that, because that engagement with loving is an engagement with the loving of ourselves in the way we believe we should be considered of value. This goes on and on and on and on in every venture that we are involved with in life. It's significant, but in a kind of a way, it means at its coarsest or roughest engagement, it's the love of the self. And how you put yourself forward for a purpose that might be related to being really important in your eyes or the eyes of others. At an extreme degree, that's considered an illness. At the opposite end of the stick, it's considered weak. If you don't do something to maintain a focus of value for yourself, then you're considered weak. If you do too much, you're considered obnoxious, or other words that fit in there, narcissistic, whatever. And this, by the way, is not tentative. It's real. And it's how our world is. We don't like to think of it that way, because every one of us in our own way can look at ourselves, if we're honest, and that one is difficult as well. If we're honest, we know that in moments of time, we've all been kind of in both places. And this is part of the species. So, if you're a species, and you have a view of how you are, let's change that. If you're an individual and have a view of how you are, and you're one of the few people who see you that way, and then suddenly you realize that you can sell yourself. This is that narcissistic background kind of thing. And by the way, our whole world is based on selling and marketing. So you want to be real careful in that. What you speak about and how you speak about it, because you find yourself in the mix. So you contribute that to the species, and the species honors that. Well, that's nonsense talk in a very linear way, but if you look at it energetically, a simple thing is walking into a room and everybody's happy, but something's off because there was maybe a frustration or something going on in the room that was uncomfortable prior to it, but everybody just changes things, and you walk into that room and now you feel off a bit. That's an energetic response. You've listened to me talk about this long enough to know that there's transmission involved. But if you really love to think that you're great and wonderful, you transmit the same construct about needing to be great and wonderful to others, and they become very similar to that. This is one of the reasons why higher states, and I say that talking about real able beings would only take on one student. They were quite right. And here's the reason. If they could get that one student to let themselves begin to shift and change, they knew that that one student would eventually get another student and try to help them to change within. Here's a dilemma. There would have to be something happen to that individual to have that occur. So that yogi would engage with that person and help them to understand an aspect of inner growth. And it would take most of its life. And during that time, that aspect of inner growth, and we define it very easily, that ego drive that constructs images within and expresses for purposes that relate to itself, that inner drive begins to soften down. But it softens down because of the emptiness of the yogi, which is a transmission. We find that very difficult to understand. And so does the species, because it doesn't want to be part of it yet. It's too young. So what a youthful species like ours, no offense to anybody out there, means that all of us are relatively young, no matter where we are in our relationship with existence. Now that's one of the things that, who wants to hear something like that? So when we talked about, I remember David Wimble's question about a group and being part of a group. Absolutely, exactly right. He wasn't talking about this group that we have. He was talking about a group that relates to those who have already attained an aspect of silence internally. And this is hopefully something that can be attained by folks with rough edges like you and I. And rough edges are related to caring for people, inside caring, not verbalization caring. That's what we do to help ourselves feel comfortable within ourselves. But caring for people enough to help them without a movement of the personality. And that means the silence of the personality. So that silences can meet at a deeper level beyond the identifying processes or images of individuals who really believe that they're really valuable or not valuable, or some image construct that they've constructed. And we've got 8 billion people with image constructs. If you think you're the only one that has an image construct, you're missing how you are and how others are. You're just missing it. And there's no negation with that. It's just the difficulty is, it's not what David Wimble was talking about. Growing until you can gain access to a level that allows you and your image construct to be quieter. And in fact, still functional and usable by higher states, and you are aware of it, but you don't move to engage with it. This is hard for us to understand because we're taught that this is a thing we have to do. And as a matter of fact, if that kind of thing does happen, it's very difficult for us. We hurt more because we feel the difference in loving. And that normally means that you have been, we're not talking about theoretical engagements here, but how you think about the world and all the rest of it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's part of our human condition too. Talking about the internal construct, the inner system, hurts because there's a differentiation between one level of loving and another level of loving. There are tremendously many different levels of loving. And loving at the coarser level is our love for ourselves. And we have to have some of that in our world because our species, within our species, it is a must. And we are learning little by little, some of us, hopefully, that there's a margin of error here. No one is perfect at this, but at the same time, there is a place within that knows the difference between one level relating to a sociological process and another level relating to a higher state process. And these two are in a movement to joining at some level of engagement that is not functional well here on this planet. This is really interesting to me, always has been, because I've had the great fortune in meeting some of these folks. And I've had the great fortune of meeting some folks who are very able and utilize energy through their own personality on engagement or energetic engagement. And the difference is huge. But what I understand is everyone out there in here, everyone in the world, attempts to utilize energy for their own purposes. And that energy just happens to be have many names. One of them is love. One of them is will. One of them is, well, purpose, personal purpose, self-interest, whatever. So when we look at these things and you talk about other people and you wonder about them, and if they're engaged with a coarser level, it hurts you. Why does it hurt you? It hurts because you're shifting and learning something about a degree of loving that is misunderstood here on these planes. And that degree of loving has an awful lot to do with a relationship with silence. There is a silent bond. I'll say it again. There is a silent bond. This is what is at the core of Dave's past question about trying to move in a direction towards part of a team or a group that I've talked about a few times. And I've always found this really fascinating. In an engagement with any of these folks who are actually helping, their personalization is virtually nil. Now that is a level of engagement that has nothing to do with them being considered important. They have a job, they do a job, they stay out of the way of a lot of folks that that energy that is personalized is so different to that energy that flows and only attempts to engage with those factors inside that might be helpful to enable a person to get beyond themselves little by little. It has to be little by little because the person fights back. It does not want to change. And no offense, but no amount of therapy helps as much as the help is needed. There was another method that Freud brought up, and I spent a number of years doing that method, and that was writing. Writing about anything and everything that came into your mind. And that was purported to enable you to begin to understand you. What it did with me was brought out an awful lot of emotion and then broke through into some areas that was very helpful because it allowed me to look at myself from a distance. In that particular place, there are still blind spots. I noticed this, and I could call it be concerned, but I knew that some of those blind spots were there from other timelines. Also, there from this timeline. So I kept at it for quite a few years. And that is helpful. I thought it was helpful, but I watched others around me doing something similar. And they became very important because they were doing it. That's that ego drive. That's that self-love. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because hardly any other person is doing it, therefore I am important. This is what we do. I had this happen to me, therefore I'm more important than those guys. We do this because this is part of how the species is. And if we can see it and start laughing instead of elevating it to a higher state, higher, coarser state, then we're very fortunate. And it's rare. But that rarity is never discussed. Because no one wants to say that this is too doggone difficult to do. So here's the thing. Here's what's really important. Meditate. Care for yourself. Small c. Try not to give too many people a hard time. Try not to give you a hard time. Use the tools the best you can. You will forget them. You will have no patience with them because you'll do them for 2 seconds and that will be, if they didn't work, that's the way it'll go. Do them longer. They work. Try to soften down. I know it's difficult. But I know that most folks that would listen to this kind of a talk are doing the best they can. There could be exceptions to that. But it's not about who's better and who's worse, even though that's how we think. It's more about doing something that can get past the versionings of you're important because you do it. Give you kind of a hint here. It's always a good one for me. Learning how to be honest with you inside is hard to do because your images will get in your way. The images that you hold dear to you. Your fears that you hold dear to you. Your engagements that you believe are really real, that you hold dear to you. They'll often get in your way. This is just real. When they do, laugh. Laugh at yourself. If you see yourself doing a big dance about how valuable you are, laugh. Just laugh. Everybody is valuable. That is not a joke. That's real. Later on, you get to understand what that means yourself. No one telling you. Not about yourself telling you how great you are. It's about you watching what's happening as you are engaged with a state that does not relate to these planes only. This is hard for us, but it's real. From my perspective, of course. And from the perspective of many of you. But I have to tell you about something. As you start to be aware, there's 2 things, and able to be aware of energy in you two things that occur. Number one is you become important. How important you are is based on your background. How important you need to be is based on your background. How you think spiritual growth is based on your background. The second thing, when that energy flows through you from that subtler level, it has attached to itself a need to be quiet about it. I can't tell you an awful lot about that, because if I do, people will speak about it that way. I already have talked a lot about that way in different ways. But at the same time, the personas still keep coming up. Remember, the species itself does not want to change. So if you are wanting to be a helpful cell in the body of the species, like we would all like to be, ask for help for the species. Don't send help to the species from your great persona. One of the reasons why I've used the hands, the life map, as an important vehicle, and because you can use every center that way. But the problem is, for example, I'll give you an example. If you use the hands, you open them and you ask for help and just leave them there. You can do that in your mind, wherever you, on you or anybody else. But if you do it on somebody else, it's you doing it on somebody. You want them to be helped in a certain way. Yeah, that's true. It happens to all of us. But if you start using another center, for example, the brow center, you'll want to have a response from somebody. You'll want to have somebody see you do it, so that if any change happens in them, then they can say, "Oh, that you're great. It happened because of you." That's the coarser levels of these things. That's a dilemma, because we have, and all of them are fine, many kinds of techniques that want you to utilize your particular will. There's a dilemma, and I've talked about this before, and especially engaged with the species. Do you want more people like you in the species? Some of you will say, "Oh yeah, I'm really great." Some of you won't say that. So I'm saying, if you're going to ask for something, don't put too much of you in it. No offense to anybody. Because if you do, you will increase your self-focus. Because energy goes where your thinking is, until you can figure out that you're thinking like that. And this is 8 billion people plus of people who think similar to that. So this is very, very, very difficult to engage with. But Well, I don't have any questions, so
That'll motivate questions.
Marlene just said that'll motivate questions. Well, I hope it will, because I much prefer, honestly, to try and understand the value of the question that you send in and why you send it in and how important it might be to all of us at these levels or any other levels, because we live at these levels. And it's not that simple, not that easy sometimes. Because here we are, we live on the average, I think the average life expectancy now is, a lot of people say, oh, it's over 100. It's not true. It's in the 80s. And in some cases, depending on what you've done in life, it's in the 70s. And some of you know there are earlier engagements with leaving these planes. So we live in cycles. And we have cycles of physical engagement, fairly rigid sometimes. We have cycles of emotional engagement, learning how that we are emotional beings on the whole, while thinking we're mental beings, talking about it like that even. But we are cultivating a movement towards the mind plane. Not only featuring what we come up with, because we still have that dialogue that goes on. Whatever is in my mind, whatever I have, is mine. And it comes up that way. And therefore, there's a whole bunch of dialogue that goes on about, well, this is my idea, your idea, all that kind of stuff. And we do not understand the mind plane. But we do understand that it's really important for us to be valued. And it does get in our way. Moving towards an engagement with a team or higher state engagement is a movement of steps. And those steps are usually indicated by higher state beings that have broken into and beyond an emotional state or astral state. They move beyond it. They don't utilize it. But there are a lot of individuals who are utilizing the astral planes or astral states. You live on the astral plane, and it's affiliated with the physical plane. You construct ideas with lines of reference, always referring back to how you feel or sense what you think is valuable, and utilizing things from that level. And we do business like this, and we do schoolwork like this, and we live life engaging in whatever realm you believe you would like to be. But that focus on beliefs, and acknowledged as an important focus, by the way, is still a focus relative to function, relative to what you think might be valuable, still the persona's function or the image function. Just a broad picture Now, one could say, well, yes, well, that sounds like, oh my God, it doesn't make us very happy. No, what it does is helps us to understand and engage the best we can with, not always the best we can with, being as able as we can be within ourselves, with ourselves. And recognizing no matter what you do, you can build all kinds of castles, but they are made of sand. But in moments of engagement with life, some of that sand castles, they're really important. It helps us to function. Later, as we mature more, some of them we realize we have to let go of, and it's very difficult. It's hard. But that doesn't stop us from growing. We grow within no matter what the circumstance. We just have to remember that. And it's not always easy to remember. Without getting into something I'd love to get into one day, which relates to shifts in levels of function, where you actually get to know that there is more to inner growth or spiritual growth than what we understand currently. Maybe sometime I'll do that at one of the seminars. But I wish everyone well in this process of growth. Engaging with the heart and the mind as a being of consciousness is not logical. And the veneer that we hold dear to ourselves, our personality construct, are important for reasons other than itself being important. This is difficult for us primarily because we haven't seen too much of that in our history. So our history pushes us, our species history pushes us into a place where we need to be valued by others. And that is not real in the world of higher states. So I wish you all well. I think meditation is a good thing right now. And I just want to say, God, I've been doing this for an awfully long time. And often when I look at folks, I say, wow, they've grown so much. Holy mackerel. And when I look at myself, I say, just like you do sometimes, what the heck? What's going on here? So we all say the same things from time to time. Please keep that in mind. It's really important for all of us to understand that we go through all kinds of cycles. I wish you well in every one of them. Please take care. And we're going to meditate now, and Marlene's going to set up some music for us. And I'm turning this off if I can.
namo namaha. Namastasye, 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 namo namaha. Annapurna Lakshmi Ma Namastasye, 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 namo namaha. Namastasye, 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 namo namaha. Tvam Brahmani Gayatri Namastasye, 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 namo namaha. Tvam Tripura Sundari Namastasye. त्वं राजा राजेश्वरी नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः ललिता देवी भगवती भार्गवी नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः अम्बा ललिता देवी पराभक्ति वरदे नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः अम्बा ललिता देवी माया विश्वमोहिनी नमः Jagadambe Janani Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha Mamba Lalita Devi Tvam Ananda Sagari Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Triambake Devi Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Shanti Shanti Swarupaye Namo Namaha. नमो नमः ॐ कालशोभवतुर्वासपूजिताये नमो नमः षट्वर्गवत्सलाये नमो नमः तनुजप्रेरकाये नमो नमः समस्तदेवतनुजप्रेरकाये नमो नमः समस्तहृदयाम्भोजनिलयाये नमो नमः समस्तहृदयाम्भोजनिलयाये सृष्टिस्थितितिरोधानसङ्कल्पाये नमो नमः। श्रीषोडशाक्षरी मन्त्रमध्यमाये नमो नमः। अनाद्यन्त स्वयं भूत दिव्यमूर्त्यै नमो नमः। भक्तहंस परिमुख्यवियोगाय नमो नमः। मातृमण्डलसंयुक्तललिताये नमो नमः। नन्ददैत्यमहासत्त्वनाशनाये नमो नमः। क्रूरभण्डशिरश्चेदनिपुणाये नमो नमः। धात्रच्युतसुराधीशसुखदाये नमो नमः। चण्डमुण्डनिशुम्भादिखण्डनाये नमो नमः। चण्डमुण्डनिशुम्भादिखण्डनाये नमो नमः। ॐ रक्ताक्षरक्तजिह्वादिशिक्षणाये नमो नमः। महिषासुरदुर्वीर्यनिग्रहाये नमो नमः। महिषासुरदुर्वीर्यनिग्रहाये नमो Sri Dakshinamurti Manogyaye Namo Namaha. Sakshat Sri Dakshinamurti Manogyaye Namo Namaha. Om Hayabedhagra Sambhujya Mahimaye Namo Namaha. Prajapati Sutta Vesharyaye Namo Namaha. Daksha Prajapati Sutta Vesharyaye Namo Namaha. Om Sumabane Shukodanda Manditaye Namo Namaha. Mahadeva Samayukta Shariraye Namo Namaha. Mahadeva Samayukta Shariraye Namo Namaha. Om Mahadeva Rathau Sukye Mahadevye Namo Namaha. Mahadeva Rathau Sukye Mahadevye Namo Namaha. Iti Shri Lalita Stotra Shatnamavali Sampurna.
Now we'll just do the balancing and grounding, and have a good evening, everybody. Take care.